Welcome back to my channel, and today we will be talking about the show Degrassi in next class. And here are some characters from the show Degrassi next class, and I'm basically gonna rate them and what I think about each character. Number one, Winston. I actually have no problem with Winston's character. I thought he was like a decent character, and I didn't really have a problem with him. Then there is Maya's character. Maya is something else, to be honest. Like, her early scenes, she was very bubbly and everything. And what I liked about Maya's character was that she was always trying to help people, even though they didn't really need the help. And she had a good heart, and she did it. And when she did things, it was out of like the love that she had for her friends, because she wanted to help them. However, I'm not gonna lie, at some points in the show, she could be a little annoying sometimes, but I did really grow to love her as the seasons in Degrassi next class happened. Like, I don't know what it was, but her depression storyline was like one of the best storylines because it was just so beautifully written, and you could really see her as being depressed and everything, especially when she like tried to kill herself and everything with the pills and everything. You could really like feel it. You really felt bad for her. I don't know why it was that. And then out of like all the seasons that she's been on the show, that was like most of the time when I actually enjoyed watching her character, and I actually enjoyed seeing her on screen. Another part of this I would also like to conclude is next we have Tristan. I personally did not like Tristan's character. I don't remember if I liked his character when I was younger, but looking back at it and watching it and rewatching the show, I don't like Tristan's character. He's very annoying, and he's very. Whenever there's him around him, he just annoys my spirit. And the fact that Maya was trying to help him and everything, and get away from that teacher and everything, and his first thought is like literally to scream at her, yell at her, and tell her that it's none of her business. And it's like, obviously, if there's a grown man that's supposed to like be teaching you and guiding you as an instructor is grooming you, it's illegal, it's wrong, it's nasty. You should be happy that she helped you not like have psychological problems from all of the grooming and everything that probably he had caused and everything. And you can even see scenes like he was literally pressuring him to like do things with him, but and it said it was like a love story, which is weird because like even when he's yelling at her, he's like, oh, I wanted what you and Cam have and all that stuff. But it's like, Cam was sick, Cam was depressed, Cam didn't know what was going on in his head. Like, the man literally unalived himself because he was just so sick and so depressed. I don't think you should aim for that type of love story. And that's another thing, you never aim for whatever people have in relationships or anything, because you don't know how they got there. You don't know why they're in that relationship. And even though they make sure they show the good parts of the relationship, they're not going to show you the bad parts, the toxic parts, the parts where like they don't put on TV, the parts where they don't put on their channel. They don't want to aim for that. And all in all, I just thought his character was annoying, and I just, he's so annoying. He gets on my last nerve. Next is Esme. Esme, to me, is probably one of the best written characters on the show, and I say this because she's a very complex character. Like, 1 minute, she's a character that you can't stand and you can't hate, and then the next minute, she's that character that you actually feel bad for her, and the more you find out about her, the more, like, messed up and damaged you realize that she is, and you realize that she just needed help, and she needed love, and she needed a therapist more than anything. Because the whole faking the beast thing was just out of like out of it was unruly, but at the same time it's kind of like she probably has like abandonment issues because like everybody she knows have left her and everything. So in her eyes, if she didn't put on a show, and she didn't do this and she didn't do that, and she didn't like allow the like threesome to happen between her boyfriend and when it happened, it was like, oh, he won't stay if I don't put on these theatrics and all that stuff. But it's like, if a man is gonna leave you because you won't do sexual things, or you won't have a threesome with whoever, or your best friend, your sister, or your auntie, or whatever, he's not the man for you. The right man will just want to be committed to the woman that to the right man would just want to be committed to you, not to multiple women at the same time, not chasing you, not stressing you. I'm gonna repeat this again. A man that loves you will not put you in a position for you to be lost. Got it? The man that loves you will not put you in a position to lose you. Got it? And I feel like with a lot of therapy and a lot of help and a lot of love, her character probably would have been like one of the best characters ever. She's still a good written character, especially the scene where she buys him a bike, a motorcycle. She literally damages it because he doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to like go with her, and she ends up like just having a mental breakdown. Yeah, she needed help and lots of it. Now the next character we have is I forgot her character's name. I think her name is like Yemen or something. I don't know. I actually liked her, and she was one of the characters that did not irritate me. I thought whenever I saw on the TV channel, I was like, I actually like her character. I want to learn more about her and who she is and what she stands for. She's not that bad. She's not that annoying, and I actually want to watch her. When I see her on the screen, I don't want to rip my hair out. And then there is a Zig. I don't really care for Zig's character. He's okay. I mean, maybe even be decent. And then there's Grace. I actually love Grace's character. She's one of my favorites. Now, another character I would like to add on is Hunter. He's on the show, but he's not on the picture. But I also wanted to add in Hunter's character. He was another complex character. And I feel like he was like misunderstood. I feel like he should have had like a proper diagnosis of something, because nobody in their right mind that wants to shoot up a school and have a hit list is like sane. And I feel like he had something. I feel like he had like bipolar disorder, some type of multiple personality disorder, something, because no sane person does that. And on top of that, his whole like violent drawings and his hatred towards cheerleaders and women in general was something else. I don't know if it was women in general, but it was definitely cheerleaders, and cheerleaders on the show was women, so we could just say women in general on the show. Was something else. Then was Yale's character. I didn't really care for Yale. She didn't do much. She was just kind of there, and it gave her a storyline that was kind of just like useless because it came out of nowhere and it just did not matter to the plot. And then now we have Tiny. I actually like watching Tiny's character. He was kind of interesting to learn about. He's not my favorite character, but he was just intriguing to watch because he like brought like interesting stories of like gang life on the TV. But one thing I always wanted to know is like, where is Tiny's father and where is Tiny's mother? Because we only see that he has a brother, and that's like it. And another honorable mention is Frankie. I actually like Frankie's character. I know sometimes she can be a little whiny, but she's not that bad. And then is this character. I forgot his name actually. He probably didn't do much for the show other than be Jonah. His name is Jonah. Then be Frankie's boyfriend, which is weird because Frankie to me seems like more of a main character, and Jonah seems more like a background character. So it's like, why is Frankie not here but he is? And that's just kind of weird, but whatever makes Degrassi happy. And then on top of that, last but not least, Lola. Lola. I don't know why when I was younger, but for some reason I actually enjoyed watching Lola's character, and I actually liked her character. But looking back at it, I did not like Lola. She was just so annoying. She played the victim, and she just gave me a headache and everything. And then on top of that, she went and she slept with Miles for no reason. Well, literally while his boyfriend was in a coma, and then she had to get like an abortion. Then all that stuff. And then one thing I never understood about that was the fact that Miles never found out. But it's like Frankie didn't even tell Miles. Ugh, something else. I just did not like her because she was just so annoying. She was always trying to play innocent when she was never innocent, and especially her microaggressions, like black women and stuff like that, was just very annoying. The scene and where like they were talking about like a school and it's like a more urban school, and then they were like going against like the volleyball girls, and then she makes like a comment about like the other girls in a team that they're like animals and they play like animals and stuff like that, and it's like just because they're a black woman doesn't mean they're gonna be aggressive and they're gonna be that stereotype. I hate that. Exactly, because like I don't like that stereotype because it's kind of like it's just takes away from like black women allowing to be in their femininity, and it's like why add so much stress onto one person just because they're a black woman. Like leave them alone, let them rest in their femininity, let them be happy, let them be at peace for once in their life. And I just did not like her because of that. Now another character I would like to add, I forgot her, sorry, was Shay's character. I actually really like Shay because I feel like she was very relatable and she said what needed to be said and she did what needed to be done. And I just feel like I actually would just watch Shay over and over again because she was that girl. She said what needed to be said, she did what needed to be done, and she would just be like an amazing friend, and she would just be like someone I could like sit down and watch. Like she deserved her own spinoff or something. And what else? Oh yeah, then there was like Jonah literally having his own kid that came out of nowhere. Like no build up or anything. Just plop. Out of nowhere that he had a child. Like what? And then there was like I said, Esme's character was something else. Like one minute you loved her, no, not loved. One minute you felt bad for her. One minute you wanted to like be there for her, maybe even love her. I don't know. And then in the next minute you hate her. Cause I remember there was a scene in where like Shay ended up like getting her thing and she was like sitting on Tiny or whatever. And then after that, she like told people and I was like, that's wrong. Stop breaking girl code. And then on top of that, reminds me of that whole situation with Lola. It's like you knew that she liked him and you still went after him. Like what? That's also breaking girl code. It's like Lola is just such a tacky character. I don't like her. I pray to God that I never come across a girl like Lola or anybody like Lola at all. Cause I feel like if I did, it would not end well. I would lose my mind. I hope that I come across a Shay in my life. Never an Esme, because Esme's crazy. She needs help. I need a Shay in my life, someone who's going to be a good friend. Or Grace. And then another character we have is Zoe. Zoe is one of the most complex characters on the show because she's written as a mean girl. And it's like one minute you feel bad for her, and then the next minute you want to strangle her. And I was, yeah, probably strangle her. Because, like, she gives good advice, she's consistent, but she's also mean and she's belligerent. And, she tried to play straight and all that stuff. And it was just horrifying. And then she was very petty when it came down to Miles and Maya. And it's like she literally sat there and tried to ruin their relationship. Like, the scene where they went to France and she ends up, like, dumping wine on her dress for no reason. It's like, if the boy doesn't like you, that's okay. There are other men that will appreciate you and that will love you and that will take care of you like the queen that you are. You don't have to fight for somebody who does not want you and has no problem showing you that they don't like you. And then after that, I feel like another scene that no one ever talks about in next class is a scene where like Zoe and Esme are in like the classroom and they like kiss and it's like, so we know Zoe's gay, but is Esme gay? Like what is she? Like is she like bi? Is she like pan? Like what is she? I want to know. I know it's not in my business, but for her or whatever. But it would kind of be cool if they kind of explain that, or was she just like curious? But they just like never talked about it. They just like let it slide. Is there anybody else that I want to talk about on the show? No, that's about it. Love you. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, there's another part I forgot to add in this video. And by left, I feel like in the show when they mean like left, the one they left like differently for Esme's family. Like the mother ends up like committing like unaliving herself, and the father, I think he just like abandons and leaves. So that's what I think they mean by leave. And maybe they didn't explain what happened to the father, but I think it was like he left or something. I don't remember. But like the parents like left basically. That's what I mean. Sorry. Again, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Another character I like to add on is Becky Baker. When I mean I don't like Becky's character, I mean I don't like Becky's character. She is so annoying. She is, oh my goodness, her character is just something else. She's annoying, she's mean, she's rude, and on top of that, she's belligerent, she's controlling. Like, this girl literally sat here and literally did not allow Zoe to be on her team due to the actions of her brother assaulting the girl that literally just wanted to give herself a new chance to try something new, to put all that in the past behind her, and made it seem like she wanted these things to happen to her. I just don't like her character. She's just very something else. And I get it. There's scenes where she's actually trying to be decent, but it's just something else. There's just something wrong with her. And then there's Miles' character. I don't really care for Miles either. Now rewatching it, he doesn't really add anything. All Miles really added onto the show was just making my head hurt and just like drama. Just that. Like, my goodness, Becky, Miles, annoying, annoying for no good reason. You just need to sit down. And then on top of that, there's like the parents in the show. Like, you have the dad who's like the Hollingsworth family. That he is an awful character. When I mean awful, he's just downright awful. He's mean. He's loud. He's always trying to fight his kids. He cheats on his wife. He's awful. Then there's the wife. I don't like her character either, because it's like, if you know your husband's here at home, why don't you just leave him? And it's like, I personally, when it comes down to situations like that, I can't turn a blind eye, because I respect myself enough to see if somebody is out here cheating on me and willing to lose me and put himself in that position to be an awful partner, an awful husband, and all of that stuff. I'm leaving them. Especially to how awful he was towards his children and everything. I'm leaving his ass. I don't care. And then let me tell you about Mrs. Torres. I'm not gonna lie. Mrs. Torres, I did not like her in the beginning, because she went down there and she was like one of those mothers that their sons in their eyes could do no wrong. Like, they could come up in a bank, steal, murder, and hurt everybody in there, but their sons could do no wrong. And she literally had the whole audacity to literally blame Allie for the whole situation, as if it wasn't Drew that went into a boiler room with Bianca, while Bianca gave him the guap guap 3000 in there. And then after that, she came down there. She saw Allie was literally in tears and everything, because she was very upset that her boyfriend cheated on her. Somehow, she was the victim. She was called the hussy and the floozy and everything, while it was her poor son and all that stuff causing all the trauma. And I'm very upset, because till this day, I really wish that Miss Torres gave an apology to Allie, because Allie deserved that apology. Because it's like, this girl is sitting here crying in her whatever thing that they were having, and somehow her son is still the victim, even though he is a whole. And then after that downline in the later season, she actually got better, and she finally told her son to put a sock in it, and finally stood up, and finally was being a mother, and finally was like, you know what, my son ain't shit. My son is not this angel. He needs to be told the truth. And she finally did that, and that's when I was like, you know, Mama Tora, she's not so bad. I actually can stand her. And then was the dad. He just didn't do much. He just like came to a dinner with their grandmother, and just like they said a few words. He didn't even say a word at all, just a grandmother. And then that was. Then his character is never seen again. The most we hear about his character is that he's like trying to move Drew because of the gang violence and all that stuff. That, you know, he got into a relationship with Bianca. Bianca had a past. The past came up to Drew and Bianca, and you know, he was trying to save Bianca, because you know, that dude that was like trying to That's all. Bianca, was trying to assault her. And, he had to put a stop to it. Bianca tried to stop her assaulter too, because there was two of them, or was it one of them? I don't remember. But they put an end to it, and, they had to go get their lawyers and all that stuff. And he was doing PTSD, and was like, "You want to move here?" And then it was like, "No." It was like, "Yes, I want to move." And then Adam gave him talk. Was like, "You know what? I want to fight my battle." And then after that, they basically end up like staying at the Degrassi. I feel like it would have been interesting if they left for a little bit and gave other people the floor to have their own storylines. That's just me when I rewatched it. And then after that is like Simpson. I personally, the only thing I don't like about Simpson's character is I like his character, but I don't know why they made him cheat. That was just so out of character. I think they did it for the drama. I would have been okay if Spike and Simpson never got back together and they got a divorce or a separation, because that was not fair to Spike. Spike was out here being loyal, and they already had 2 kids, they were married and everything, and he does that. And then on top of that, I feel like at some points in the show he was trying to like play victim and all that stuff, and was trying to like sneak his way back into the house. And then they eventually like made up, and then she was like, you don't kiss anybody again. But it was like, y'all did not see that kiss. That was not a kiss. That was like, they were like going at it. I swear, if Emma did not come into that movie theater, even though they were hiding or whatever, I feel like they probably would have done it or something. I don't know. Who else character we need to talk about? The other parent. Crap, there's so many parents. Allie's parents. I don't have a problem with Allie's parents, actually. My only problem is that they were a little too strict, but eventually they got better and they became more bearable. And then who else parents we can talk about? Casey's mother. I don't really like her. I feel like she got a little better, but I don't really like her. And then Casey's father. A mutant society. Awful. But for some reason, I don't really dig Casey's mom like. And I know I'm ranting about the parent, and that's a whole different spinoff, but I just wanted to add that in. And then another thing I never understood was how come they never talked about like Bianca's story more. Like they did, but they just said she had an aunt, but they never really talked about like her mother or like where are they? That would have been interesting. What else? I don't know. That's it, I guess. If it comes to me, I'll make another video about it.